Say what? Say what radio show. With no agenda. It's always a surprise. But if we're not having fun, we're doing something wrong. Saturdays, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern, 3 to 5 Pacific. On Haggy Shack Radio at HaggyShack.com. Say what? Alrighty, and this is Say What? And Nancy won't be with us today because she had prior engagements. So Dolly's going to head this show, right? Hello? Is everybody muted? I hear someone laughing.
Oh, jeez.
There she is.
My doggone cursor wouldn't move.
Curse that cursor.
And I was freaking muted. And I'm thinking, no, I'm not going to head this show.
Yeah, sure.
Well, all right, I guess I am. And I can handle it.
Well, you know I can't because I'm doing all this stuff in the background, you know.
Oh, yeah, that good excuse there, Carl. Jeez.
And I get the last one, so Christina and you can do it.
Let me do the intro stuff and all that, ladies.
Okay.
So welcome to Say What, everybody. This is another Saturday. It is June 25, 2016. And as Colleen said, Nancy had another engagement, so asked me to come and substitute for her, plus the fact that Christia is going to be co-hosting every fourth Saturday of the month. Is that right? Did I get that right?
I believe that's correct.
Good. Okay. So, but Nancy wanted me to be here with her first time because Christy and I have a past and a present together. So, we want to welcome Christia. She is an angel medium. I've had her on my show. Nancy and Colleen have had her on their shows. This is going to be great because we also have Sandy Jones, who was sharing earlier with us some of her angel stories, and I figured that Sandy and Christia would hit it off marvelously for this show. So, you are listening to HSR, or Haggy Shack Radio, who simulcast the show through Wolf Spirit Radio, and they are listener-supported stations, so please do donate if you can. They both have donate buttons. And if you can't, don't get upset. We just love having you with us. Also, if you have questions or comments, which we do love getting from y'all, please put them in all caps, because that way it denotes to us that you're talking to us and not just chit-chatting. So a little bit about Sandy is, she is the literary executor to the William Samuel Legacy. In 1996, she was given his entire catalog of works, and today is the spokesperson for William Samuel's Message, publishing and promoting the entire William Samuel catalog. She is an accomplished artist and writer, currently writing a book, which she says is simply a joyful expression of my love for life and the living unbound beauty and peace that has found me. The book is currently untitled. Oh, and she said it's going to be published in the spring of 2015, so I guess we'll have to ask her about that.
That must be an old, the book is titled now, and I don't know, it came out and it's published, so there we are.
Oh, you know what? That was the thing from the Buddha at the gas pump before you finished writing it.
Ah, right.
That's the book she just did, Dolly, and that's what we were talking about.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So it's titled Barefoot at Heart, The Alchemy of Love and the Power of Light.
You got it. There you go. And it's out and it's available. Yay!
And we will be posting her site, and we'll be posting Christia's site. So be looking for that in the chat room as we progress, but I can only do so many things at one time.
Well, maybe the chat room monitors could copy paste that again, because you have put that in there, haven't you, already?
Yes, Sandy stuff I have, but Christia's I didn't today, but I have in the past. We gotta get Christia's stuff. Hold on. I have Christia's site right here. Hold on. Copy. Because she is just a frickin' joy to me. Christia has, oh my God, Christia has changed my life completely with a few words that she said, and all of a sudden my mind picked up what Christia said about angels. And I can't thank you enough, Christia.
Oh, thank you. I'm blushing. You can't see me, but I'm blushing. Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Since we've last spoke, I've been painting. In between clients, coaching clients, I've been painting. I have a whole new, art, selection on my website called Calling All Angels, and, using the shungite water. And, there's a free link on my website. You can watch a video of me talking about how I put my 3 shungites in the water, and then I have crystals in the water, and then I bless it, and then how I use it in my art, in my painting. And so all this new work is created with the shungite water. And I'm over the moon with the energy of the work, and excited about it. So thank you for having me, and I'm excited to meet Sandy and hear more about you, Miss Dolly.
Hey, Christy, can you explain to us the difference you feel with the shungite painting stuff?
Well, it's like a whole nother level. It's like, I always say that we're always evolving, that we're always growing. Like, we have say we're somewhere in our consciousness, and then we're like this beautiful flower. Another layer opens and we expand, and then we're at that level for a while, and then we have another aha, and we expand. And, we're constantly growing and evolving as souls and as 3D human beings on this earth. And for me, introduction to the shungite, because I believe I was a guest on your radio show where Nancy came in, and you had asked me, or Nancy asked me about shungite. Had I ever heard of shungite?
Yeah.
Or I was talking about crystals, or I think that's how it got started. Yeah. But I had no idea what you were talking about. Honestly, I didn't know what that was. And it's so interesting that once if you don't know about something and then it comes into your consciousness, bada bing, bada boom. I mean, it's like a drop in the, it's like a pebble in the pond. It ripples out. And what shungite personally, after I met Nancy on Dolly's show, she sent me like this little care package, cause she wanted to kind of have an experiment on what, she sent me some of the dust or powder, and then she sent me some little nuggets, and then she kind of wanted to know what it would be like in my painting or working with it.
Right.
And for a while when I got it, I didn't really do anything with it. I just it was in my space. And then I think I was she had me on her show, or you had me on the show again. I don't know. It's all kind of
She had you on her show.
And then I was like, I really need to be using it more. Or, I had put every day, the 3 pieces are in my water. I have 3 pieces in my water, 3 pieces in, where my cats drink out of. It's a water thing. And then I put it in each of the water receptacles because I'm a water media. So I use watercolor and acrylic. So each of the things that I dip my brushes in, had the three pieces in it as well. But I guess I hadn't really consciously been working with it through prayer. And so this last batch of paintings, I consciously blessed the water with the shungite in it. And I've also now been wearing a piece of shungite. And I believe that
I can't help it. Go ahead.
Since I've been wearing it, I think it's really shifted me in a really good way because I'm super, super sensitive because I'm an empath, a clairvoyant channeler. And being sensitive, I think I was really kind of, and this is also coming into my awareness as I'm speaking about it, but I believe I was, how the signal's kind of fuzzy, and now I've been wearing the shungite so the signal's clear.
Yeah. Because
there's less less static. And I have the stickers now, some of the bags, where that's got multiple, I forget, they have a special name. Let me look at the little card. Bucky bag. So I have some Bucky bags around my computer. I have, the stickers. I put stickers on my Bluetooth ear thing, and my cell phone. And then I've got pieces all over the house now, and I've gridded with it. So we're shungite, but I guess it's had an effect on me.
That's wonderful.
Well, you can look at my art. You can probably see the shift.
I'll do that.
I think you can feel it.
Wow. That's pretty fantastic. And see, the shungite has enhanced your life, and you talking about the angels and how many there are for each one of us, and that they just want us to ask them, has changed my life, has enhanced my life, and not only my life, Christia. By doing that with me and sharing my excitement and sharing what you taught me, we have influenced so many people that I can't even tell you how many. It's like that stone that's being thrown in the water and the ripples. They just go out all the time, every day, Christia. It's changed my youngest daughter's life and her husband's life. It's changed Annette's life, my oldest daughter. I know Vanessa and Dottie are doing it all the time, and there's just more and more and more people. But thank you so much for sharing with us how the angels just want us to ask them. And don't be specific.
Right. And I was reminded, because I work with people every day, I was reminded this week that Earth is a free will zone, and we have to ask. We have to ask. And as soon as we ask, bada bing, bada boom, we open the door. And that's really the only rule, when it comes to them, is that we gotta ask. And I realized I hadn't been asking enough. I help a lot of people all over the globe every day, helping them manifest wonderful, wonderful, wonderful things. And I realized I hadn't really been
practicing what you preach. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. So I had to go down to the center of the football field and get my megaphone and be like, okay, I need to hire some angels.
Yeah.
I need angels for this. I need angels for this. And I need angels for this.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. It happened so fast. I was talking with my son-in-law and my daughter on the phone as they were on the road, and he was concerned about, he really wanted an interview with these one peoples. So I was saying, Shannon, here's what I've learned, here's what you need to do. So he talked to his angels right then. We hung up, and I'll be darned if he didn't get a call immediately from that person wanting it to set up his interview. That's how fast sometimes it happens.
That's amazing.
He was blown away. He definitely believes the angels help now.
What about, was it your other daughter that was going to set up the Facebook, experiment? Or?
Yes, but people didn't respond.
Oh.
So she couldn't go anywhere with it.
Oh, well, don't give up.
Well, it's still sitting there in the forum if somebody wants to participate, and we would love participation. Just go to the forum, and I think it's under Angel. Oh, phooey, I forgot what it's under. You can't miss it. Hot Topics, maybe?
Okay. If you send the link, because I'll find it, and then I can promote it.
Okay, I'll send you the link.
Yeah, because I'm curious. But no response.
Not really. There was one person who responded, and it was good. It was good for that one person, and I also wanted to collect, I think I wanted to collect angel stories. And I got this one lady who has been filling me in all the time on her angel interactions. Oh my gosh. I just sit back and giggle and say, thank you, God, for the angels. Thank you, angels, for loving and working with us. I can't do anything but sit here and frickin' giggle.
I love it. I love it.
It's just fantastic. And then Sandy has an angel lucid dream story. Would you please share that with us, Sandy? I know you shared it in the previous show, but this is a different show. Could you please share that?
Sure, I would love to share that. Yeah, it's almost as if, oh gosh, it was many, many years ago, but that's when it started, was many years ago. But I would have these dreams in the middle of the night, and not often, they were rare, but when I had them, they were so amazingly incredible. And I would be taken to another dimension. And this was these were really vivid dreams. And I would be taken to this other space where there would be choirs, a holy choir of angels. And they would be singing. And their sound, the beauty of this sound was so profound and moving and incredible and deep. And it was a total symphony in voice, and it was hard you couldn't even describe it. So beautiful. And I'd be taken to, I'd be listening to these choirs of angels singing. And twice, I got invited to sing a solo with these angels. And when I was there in this dream, my voice was so incredibly beautiful. It was beyond anything this world, really. And the funny part, and this is the one that Colleen likes so much, the funny part was that, it was like after I'd be there with this beautiful space, this angelic, celestial song, the music of the spheres, the whole world was like singing, and I could feel it. And I'd wake up, and when the time that I did this solo, I woke up and I was still like vibrating with the energy of having sang this beautiful song, and I could hear this song inside of me, and it was still singing, and it was still there. And it's kind of like you hear a song on a radio and you think you know the song, and you're going, oh, I love that song, and I could feel it. And so I thought, I've got to sing. And I opened my voice, here in this tangible form world, and I can't sing. And my voice was gone. That beautiful angelic voice was just gone. You know what I just thought of, telling that story again for, many times? I just thought of this. You know how Cinderella comes back after 12 and her dress melts and her shoes are gone and her gown is gone? That's how it was. It was gone. It just vanished, and I was still here in this world. But yeah, I was there singing angelic songs. Yeah.
Wow, that's absolutely beautiful.
I can relate to that. I used to have those same sorts of dreams. And I did sing, but nothing as beautiful as that. And when I would try to sing those songs while awake, it sounded like croaking.
Exactly.
I'm like,
I couldn't sing. But all that, I could hear it. I could still hear it. It was still with me, and I just thought, oh my God, I can sing like that. And I couldn't sing like that, but I remember it, and it was vivid, and it was profound, and it never left me. And I mean, even all these years later, that's why I named my website, Celestial Song, because that has always been, I heard the music of the spheres. And you know what else I realized? This is really beautiful. These angels that sing, they're like singing over, they're like hovering over the whole earth, and they sing, and what they're doing is, it's like they're protecting us. They're spreading this holy music that just sort of, it like drizzles down on us like heavenly light, and just surrounds the whole earth. And they do this all the time, and it's kind of like the way they're actually keeping the whole, how crazy things are on this earth. It's like their song is like bringing it back to harmony, bringing it, balancing, always protecting us, so that really nothing bad will sort of happen while we're here, because they are like sheltering and providing this holy music that we don't even realize is going on. And it's protecting us and taking care of us and watching over us. And it's a song. It's like when you hear people say, a song in my heart. It's like we can really, there's something connected to it, and we do feel it, and we do know it. And so when we sleep at night, I think we're kind of being, watched over by this beautiful music,
Sorry, I was muted again.
I totally agree.
I shared in the Skype chat each of your websites, so you each can have the other's website, Addie. So, do you have any other type of angel stories you can share with Christia, Sandy?
Oh, yeah. I'm not on mute, right? I was turning it, no, I'm okay.
No, I hear you.
Yeah, I do. My book, the book that I wrote, Barefoot at Heart, it truly was guided. I was guided through that book by angels, and when I wrote it, when I finally wrote it, it was like I was supposed to write a book always. I knew I was supposed to, but I never quite figured out what or how or what it was going to be or how I would do this. And it would always just sort of be there in the back of my mind. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And one day I figured it out. I mean, it was like a thundering call that said, I got it. And I sat down and I started writing. And that's when the book came about. And that was about 2 years ago. And by the end, maybe 2 years, yeah. And anyway, wrote. But what was so beautiful would be that I would wake in the middle of the night after I finally kind of got the book sort of all together and sort of put together, and it was kind of ready for editing and everything. And I'd wake in the middle of the night, and every night I would wake up and hear something say, oh, remember that little sentence, how you wrote that? You got to rewrite that a little bit. Go check it out in the morning. And so I'd make a note and I'd go, okay, in the morning I'll go look at it. And then I'd rewrite a little sentence and I'd make it just perfect and just right. And there was so many instances where these angels would tell me how to write that book. And they just guided me. I know that book was written through this divine magic that guided me to do it. And I just trusted it the whole time. And it kept honing the book and editing the book and writing it, and sometimes they'd even hear a little voice say, you're kind of getting a little too much like instruction there. Well, this is not an instruction book. This is just pure heart. Stay with the heart. And I'd go, okay. And I'd pull it back, and I'd know where I was going. And so I truly was guided through that book. And when I finished it, that was also a angelic message. And I often call it a magic. It was like magic also guiding me, but it was an angelic message. And it said, write the book, get it published, and put it out there. And then let it go. Just let it go and trust the magic. And so it's been out about 5-6 months, I guess. And that's what I did. I'm just trusting the magic. And it just, like you were saying, these things just keep happening. People keep coming. People keep finding it. People want me to talk. People want me to share it. And the sweetest people in my life, just encouraging me and telling me how much they love it. And I've gotten the most beautiful reviews on Amazon. I've gotten 16 reviews now. And it hasn't, to me, 6 months and nobody knows that it's even out there. 16 reviews, and they're all 5-star, and they're all just beautiful reviews. So it really has been a divine gift that I was supposed to bring, but it really has, in some ways, has nothing to do with me. It's like I'm watching it as it unfolds and just seeing where it'll go. And that was sort of the premise of the book too, to just let this beautiful light show us the way and guide us through everything, and trust it and trust in this beautiful life that we're living, because it will lead us right, and it'll bring the right people and do the right things. And I've been watching it happen, and it is. So yes, that was how it was.
You have any comments on that, Christia?
Just wow, and what beautiful heart space. I can feel your energy, and I feel the book, and just how beautiful that is. And I would feel like I would hope your story would encourage others to take that leap if they're feeling, creative or maybe tentative about their creative juices. And I love how you just followed your heart and listened.
Yeah. And that is also part of it too, is that was just like you were saying, that was part of my intention or hope, was that when people read it, that they will discover their own ability to create, their own faith in themselves, their own artistic or whatever it is, their humor, their joy, their whatever they are. It's a gift to be brought to the world, and to trust that gift in themselves, that they have something to bring, and it's really essential and important to bring it. And it can be in all different kinds of ways. And it doesn't have to necessarily be through art and that kind of creativity, but it is a creative spirit that is very sort of daring and bold and trusts itself, trust who you are. And yeah, I'd like to encourage that too, because I really feel like the more people can trust themselves with that higher connection, with that divine connection, and trust that divine connection, I think that's how we're going to heal this world,
I totally agree. And I think you can live your life creatively, and I think people, they get stuck and they just associate creative energy with producing a product, but you can live your life so creatively and not make art. It doesn't have to be a physical thing. And
exactly.
Yeah. So I think I can see the energy of your book being like a pebble in the pond, the light. You sent the light out, and that light is now, when people hold it and see it, then it sparks their light, and then it just, keeps rippling out. So it's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. I think that is how it works. Once we start, one person gives his heart, the next person gets encouraged and has the bravery to bring their heart. So that's how it works. I was just thinking when we were talking about this, creativity doesn't necessarily have to be artistic, like painting or making a sculpture, that kind of thing. But I was just thinking, look at somebody like Walt Disney that created out of his imagination and brought a whole fairyland and wonderlands and worlds. I mean, that creative ability can be in all kinds of inventive things. So it's an unbridled kind of expression of each person's own unique gifts, and I think it just could be in all kinds of ways that is expressed.
Oh, I love how you mentioned Disney, because to me, everything's a frequency, and that Disney, that pure original Walt Disney frequency, and that beautiful creative connection to higher, tapping into the higher soul light. You tapped into your higher soul light, your angel teams, your angel light, producing that book. And now, it's exciting. It's just really exciting to see it.
Yes, exactly. And, without this totally open heart that happened to me, this fearlessness, I would have never been able to write that book. I mean, that book it's a little unusual. It's, I mean, I had to be bold to write that book, for me. I mean, maybe nobody else would think it was bold, but for me, I had to step out and be myself and truly share my this who I am. And it just wide open. This is what came to me, and this is what I'm sharing with you. And that took a bold step, but I couldn't have done that without this inner beauty that I'd found, that gave me all the confidence and the ability to do this. And it did. I mean, this was the child that I write about, and it gave me all that I needed to do this. And that was what was so beautiful about it. You know, like once I made the discovery of the child, then I knew how to write the book. So the two went hand in hand. Absolutely. Definitely. And that's how the angels kind of came into it too, because I'd always had angels in my life. But then to see this whole bounty of everything that's magic kind of came rushing to me, you know, like rushing to serve, rushing to give, rushing to help me and encourage and lift. And I did it. I just did it out of all this beauty that found me. And that's truly how it was.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you for sharing it. And I love how you said, you know, maybe not for somebody else, but for you, it was courageous. And I think it's true when we are pushing the envelope and really being our most authentic self for the first time, we do have to be courageous. And, you know, to bring through our own unique frequency, whatever that is in its glory, you know, it does take courage and, you know, kind of some chutzpah to put it out there for the first time. So it's exciting that you did it. Thank you.
Yeah. And you know, as we talk about that, and maybe this would just be helpful to others, it's like you say, it was courageous, but it wasn't, because at that point, just like you're saying, it's like I had no choice. It was like it was not so courageous as it was living this truth that I had found. Yes, there was something brave about it, because what are they going to think, you know? And yet, having found this freedom, I didn't care what they were going to think. So it was like, yes and no, you know, it's very interesting now that we bring this up. I'm only seeing this at the moment as we talk about courageous, because in many ways, that boldness, that childlikeness didn't care. It was like, this is the way it's going, and this is what you're going to bring. And I was, okay, here we go. Let's see what happens. So there was sort of this lovely, joy of being so sassy, let's say, or being so bold, or yes, I'm going to do it my way, or what a lovely feeling, you know. So there was something quite beautiful about that. Well, I'm hearing that old song, doing it my way, you know, I'll do it my way. It was like, yes, just follow that heart, do it, trust it. So in many ways, you're right, it wasn't courageous, but on the other hand, it was, you know. So yeah, that's a lovely thing, I think, to note, so that when others kind of get to that point, it's sort of like, no, just do it, you know, because that childlikeness, that heart of you, the soul of you, it knows how to do it, and it will do it right. And if anybody's offended, it won't matter, you know. You're just gonna be free from really being concerned or worried about wherever it goes from there. And that's how it happened for me. I don't have any concern about what will happen or who will think what. And there may be some won't like it and some will love it. And that isn't That doesn't matter. It's the joy of doing what you've been called to do. And that is really where the wonder and the core, it's like there's a core. That's where the core is. That's where the center is. And you just want to live it from out of that beautiful center like that. And so courage, not necessarily in some ways, it's just who we are and trusting the beauty of who we are and knowing that that beauty is going to be all right. Yeah. Sweet.
I think the first steps you take in that regard, it does take courage because you've been beaten down so much and told, oh no, you can't go outside the box. You can't take steps out there. And then you take your first steps outside and you see that you aren't being crushed. Nobody's trying to shoot you up and kill you. And it's kind of fun to feel that freedom. And then you get braver and you think, well, I'm going to try this, seeing as that worked.
Oh, it's sweet. You know what that reminds me of? Do you remember, many of us have probably been told this, but there was a time, I think, in past lives where we were sort of, hung at the stake or whatever they call it, burned at the stake or, wrangled up as, these beautiful goddesses that, had so much to give or were saying things that shouldn't be, they had the magic and I've had people say to me, they felt that their past life, of something like that made it so that it was a little scary to sort of bring their mystical, magical self to the world. And because they were afraid, because they'd been through this in other lifetimes. And in some ways, I can see how that probably does carry over. And there is that sort of, residue of that kind of happenings, but I guess maybe now, it's like we do have to be brave and just do it our way. And, the world needs us. The world needs all of us to be true to ourselves and to, not be afraid to be ourselves. So, and not be worried about exactly what they're going to do or who they are or what they're going to say, because it doesn't matter.
And I think what's really important to know that in this lifetime, we're not going to be persecuted.
Right.
In this lifetime is a completely different lifetime. And the only way to heal that past lifetime is to do it now in this lifetime. And to know that you just got to do it. Like you said, you just cannot not do it. So you just going to go ahead and do it. And I think sometimes the courage comes from not giving a hoot about what anybody says, because you know that you just got to do it, whatever quote unquote it is.
That's right. Exactly. Yes, I agree. And I also agree, yes, that because we dare to do it now is like we are breaking down we're clearing up the old, like you say, the old karma or whatever, because now we're taking our authority and doing what we need to do and being confident and encouraging others to do it too. And boy, the world does need that for sure, My gosh. I mean, what we really need is more people standing in their own strength and individuality of that unique beauty. Oh, thank you. Applause.
Amen, sister.
Yeah, exactly. Because, yes, because, that's where the confusion and the chaos is everybody listening to everybody else and nobody listening to their own heart and standing up for the light of truth in their own beautiful way and saying, I'm not going to buy the old paradigm anymore. I'm not going to buy the old conditioning and the indoctrination, and to stand completely true and loyal to yourself and to your own heart, and in that unique individuality will come the solutions to the problems that the world is having.
Yes. And what is so important that I think we need to say is, what may be true for you may not be true for anybody else, and you gotta be your own unique light. We need you to be your own unique light, whatever that is.
Yes, exactly. That's it. Because, if you try to be somebody else's light, we're not going to get anywhere. So you be your own, and that is kind of what everybody is trying to, conform, let's say, and they're afraid to speak up and afraid to say what needs to be said. And it's time to say what needs to be said in our own unique individual way. And what's so beautiful is when somebody truly is honestly saying it from this pure heart of themselves. Because to me, that pure heart of yourself is the part of us that is connected to a divine intelligence. So it's not going to go wrong. It's going to be a gift. It's going to be a little piece of the puzzle. It's going to be a little part of this that will add to the wholeness so that everything is seen more clearly. So you hear somebody say something one way and you go, wow, I really like the way they said that. And then you hear somebody else say it another way and you go, oh, and that fits with that. And then somehow each unique expression is another little gem in this beautiful creation, and it just makes it more and more of a exquisite piece of jewelry, let's say, or this exquisite thing that we're creating together with all these bits and pieces of the jewels that each of us bring.
You can't see my face, but I'm sitting here shaking my head. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. I love this that we're talking about being the unique frequency, their unique self, because when, there's that saying, we have to be ourselves because everybody else is taken. And, when I come to my art or when I'm doing anything, I always think, how can I be uniquely me? What makes me uniquely me? How can I be the most authentically me that I can be in this moment?
Yes, exactly. And that was, in some ways, that is going back to the premise of my book about this child heart of ours, because each one of us has this childlikeness, this beautiful, exquisite, unique self that is here to express ourself like that. Speaking of art, because I'm an artist too, and years ago, people would say to me, oh my gosh, your house is so beautiful and you're such an artist and everything you do is very artistic. And I wrote this little chapter in the book, but it was like I kept thinking, gosh, everybody calls me an artist, but I've never actually painted something on a piece of paper, like tried to do artwork. And one day I decided I would take an art class. And I wrote this in the book, and it's kind of a funny story, but I went to an art class, and it reminded me of being back in high school. And I was going, oh my God, I hated art class in high school. I got an F. I was like, I don't want to be here. So by the end of that one class, I never went back. But I did go home and I started painting because I'd bought all these paints for the class and I'd bought my paper and I did. So I went home and I started painting. And the beautiful little scenes that started to appear without any instruction, just from my heart. And there again, it goes back to that daring. It's sort of like, oh my gosh, is somebody going to laugh at what I'm creating here? I mean, they're going to look at this and go, that's not art, and I started painting like that, and then I started showing them to people, and people started going, oh my gosh, those are beautiful. And they would actually respond to the untrained way, the unrefined expression that's actually very childlike in many ways. And some people would say to me, oh my gosh, it takes, it would take Matisse forever, to somebody to paint like Matisse, and yet they're telling me, oh, but your artwork, it's like got that beautiful, spontaneous childlikeness to it. And that truly was just out of my own heart. The art started to pour out, and I ended up having everybody just love what I do. And I've sold many pieces, and I've never taken an art class in my life. I mean, well, yeah, I did. High school, I got an F. So, it's like I didn't let, at that point, I didn't let that stop me. I didn't let anything say, you can't be an artist. You got an F. You aren't an artist. I am. And it came out, and there it was. And I've gotten so many beautiful compliments on what I do. And it is truly a deeper expression of that, uninhibited beauty. And it's right there. And of course, not everybody would be an artist necessarily, but if you have the courage to do what it is that you are sort of given to do and express it in your way, even if you think, oh, well, somebody's going to laugh at me, or that doesn't look like it's supposed to, and there is no supposed to, and we're all leaving the supposed tos and finding our freedom to be just the way we are.
I don't think that people should be judging other people's form of expressing their art. Really, we're individuals.
That's true. There are no rules in art. Exactly.
Really?
Yeah, and that's what makes it so amazing to just leap in and do it, because yes, that's what art is. It is to express who you are in your way. Exactly. Yeah.
So how dare somebody give someone an F in art class?
Oh yeah, wasn't that?
Jeez.
I know. But I'll tell you why. It's because they did want me to conform. They wanted me to paint white eggs on a white sheet of paper with white, and I'm just going, wait, this is not, I don't want to paint white eggs on, and it was like, they really had everybody confined to a particular, format, and I could not, you bring up a very good point. That's the problem with education. Mm-hmm. I was supposed to conform, and all my life I didn't want to conform. And so I'm in that class trying to do it their way, not my way. And the reason I got an F was because I couldn't do it their way, and I wasn't allowed to do it my way. So this is really a good point. This is the problem with education. Everything has to work within these tight little parameters, and we aren't, I think it's even gotten worse. And there's no way that these children are allowed to express their individual beauty and their own artful divine self. And they all have to behave and sit still and
stay in the box and shut up.
Yes. And then they leave school completely with their little beautiful spirit has just been clobbered. And then they feel like they just have to obey, and they've forgotten that they have this beautiful intelligence, this beautiful spirit, this beautiful light that they're supposed to be bringing, and
that they are. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, we need to continue this after a break. Top of the hour, and we need to take a little break here. But don't forget where we are, okay?
Okay.
I have imagination up, and it's about 5 minutes. So we'll be back when it's finished.
Thank you. See you on the other side.
You're listening to Haggy Shack Radio on HaggyShack.com. Simulcast to Wolf Spirit Radio. And we are back. Well, I think we're back.
Oh, I was muted. But at least I had
I'm still here.
The thing down by my mouth.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Mm-hmm. So, we were having a lively conversation before the break. Christy and Sandy, do you want to continue it?
Oh gosh, I don't know where we left off with all that.
We were with people wanting to keep us in a box and program us to think their way.
Right. And I guess, that leads me down that road to the whole system of education. To me is like I could go on a real journey with that one, because I really do think that the school system it really tramps down the spirit, but I guess that's just the way it has to go sometimes, before you can come back to finding your own heart. I guess we kind of got to find out what it's like not to live in that kind of freedom, and know that there's something missing, and know that something is not, the way it's supposed. There's a feeling in our heart. There's that divine discontent, that says, wait, this isn't what we're here to do. This isn't what life is all about. And I guess it kind of takes that, losing that childlike joy in order to rediscover that childlike joy. And then in the rediscovery is where you realize it truly is something divine, because you experienced things that weren't divine or didn't feel so divine. And so you go, okay, I know what that is. And then you grab it and you say, that's the beauty. That's the love, that's the light, and you grab it and you want to run with it, and you want to cherish it, and you want to nurture it and live it, because you lived not having that. And so I guess that it does, that not having it, not knowing it, I guess that really does play a big part in the whole journey of rediscovery. It's pretty much an essential part of it. So when you find it again, you know what you have. And that's really important.
I consider that when I was going through the rough thing of this just isn't right, I consider it remembering who I am. Remembering
Yes. We do.
Yes.
It was hurt. It was soul breaking to me. All those years to be beaten and beaten and beaten. You're not conforming to what I want you to do, but I couldn't think the way that they were wanting me to think. I had no tool to work with to play their game. And I had to remember I am who I am. I don't have to accept this programming going on.
Right, exactly. And I'm sure you've all thought of this, but isn't it interesting how the word remember is like rejoin, like a member, like to come back to remembering yourself, to rejoining yourself, to coming back to who you are is to reconnect. I find it an interesting word, remember.
Yep.
Come back to who you are. And that's the journey. That's what we're really doing here, is coming back to who we truly are. And that true spirit, as I was saying before, well, that was on the other show, but what I was saying is that true spirit is so pristine and pure and uncontaminated and immutable. It never gets hurt or harmed by all the things that happen in this world. So this childlikeness that I write about and encourage people to find, it's a childlikeness that it's not like the psychological child, the wounded child, because that isn't what I'm talking about. But this is, and maybe it is, but that's an uncover. You've got to uncover, because there is no, the pure child heart of us was never harmed. That's the beauty of rediscovering this, is it goes, wow, I've always been this innocent purity. I've always been this beauty, this divine beauty, this sweet light that God loves. And so that, in a way, my teacher used to always say, not guilty. You're not guilty. And that was such a beautiful gift to me, because the child is not guilty. It's innocence, it's purity. It's never done anything wrong. The part of us that thinks it's did the wrong thing and it's got to reconnect and it's got to go down this journey of saving our, repentance or whatever. And I guess all those things happen. And yes, we do turn around. And yes, there is a time of letting go and forgiveness. But the beauty is that in that is this beautiful, pristine self of us that never did anything wrong, that has always been that pure light, that uncontaminated spirit that is what is the light of God, and that's always with us.
And to realize that, no, I was not born with sin.
Exactly, yes. Yeah, see, I wrote this in the book. I don't know if I made it very clear, but I wasn't raised in a religion, but I was raised with a belief in God, but not with a specific religion. So I think I had a bit of an advantage there, which was quite nice, because I remember my dad telling me, I said, so what is God? And he said, well, God is love. And I went, oh, that's nice. And God is everything. God is the whole universe. And my dad told me that when I was very young. And that always just hit a chord in my heart that said, oh, that's got to be right, because it was right. and my heart knew it was right. And that guided me for many years. Not that I ever was, living that kind of joy that I've found now, but I was certainly on a journey that allowed me, that gift from my parents allowed me to be closer to that visionary truth of who we are. And I wasn't wrapped up, nor did I have to break away from any sort of old sort of fundamentalist religion or some kind of extremism that was that I was indoctrinated into, or felt obligated to or anything. So that was really sweet. I have always appreciated that I came into a life and into parents that were already had sort of artistic free spirits about them. So that was quite lovely.
Very. You were very fortunate to be brought up that way.
Yeah.
A lot of us have that organized religion thing that we had to work through and realize it really wasn't about God. It was about man.
Yes, it was about churches and congregations and intellect, and had not much to do with the actual experience of experiencing God. I don't want to take over our Angel Girls conversation, because she's here to talk about angels, right?
Well, she's here to be a host.
Oh, okay.
That's why they're having guest host things.
So I'm okay going on like this about all this? It's all right with you?
Yes, and I think, oh gosh, it just went out my head. But I was going to say something, when I figure it out, I'll say it again. But yes, you're totally fine with, speaking about this. It's wonderful.
Okay. Yeah, because I was going to say something about, having been, that there are so many people who are raised with that sort of old-time fundamentalist religion, but I also noticed that in my life, there was a lot of recognition of the old, whenever I'd read something from the old, mystics, the Christian mystics, like Saint Catherine of Siena, that was supposedly, floated up above, these beautiful stories of, and especially the women of these, old mystics. They have said things that were so profound and so beautiful, but to me, the Christian mystics actually experienced God directly, just like you and we are beginning to awaken to again. I think they were the ones that first got that divine connection like that and actually experienced this holy presence, because their words are just amazing, and they're not, you can tell they are free from all this sort of, fundamentalist Christian kind of, or other fundamentalist extremism kinds of indoctrination. These beautiful mystics, I mean, one of them said, and I wrote it in the book, and I can't I wrote the quote, but I can't remember how it's said, but she said something like, "My me is God, nor is there any other me that I see," something like that. And she was Catherine of Siena. And when I first read that, I just went, wow, of course, our identity is connected to this divine source. It is the light of God that is being the energy and life that we are. And very powerful these old mystics were, I think, and they, came from out of that Christian belief, but they were not they were different. They were much different than whatever this whole thing turned into. there's also the old, I've read quite a bit of the Gospel of Thomas, which was discovered in 1940. They discovered these old Dead Sea Scrolls, and in it were these Gospels that were written way back, around Jesus' times when they were kind of interpreting the Bible and everything. And the Gospel of Thomas is totally different than what they have sort of whitewashed the Bible with that we read nowadays. And you go back to the ancient true reading of it, and it really is about know thyself. Find that Christ light in you. Find that consciousness of, know that you are the consciousness, the divine consciousness of a higher presence that is being all things. And it's all in there, and you just, wow, you go, wait, they completely distorted all these beautiful sayings to fit some kind of, I think, power and control to take over.
An agenda.
Mm-hmm. An agenda.
Their agenda, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Religion is, I always say religion is human. God did not create religion. Humans did to control the masses.
That's it.
Are you familiar with the Christian mystic Hildegard von Bingen?
Oh, yes, there's another one. Absolutely, truly enlightened.
Yes, and, the church tried to silence her, but she, was prolific in her visions and her music and, her writings and how she, literally worked with herbs and stuff to heal the people, and what a dark, dark time she was living in, and, to be the light there, and the music, I guess, the nuns didn't really get sick because, of the singing, the vibration of the frequency and what she wrote, and she wrote her own music, and I think it was towards the end, there was a different pope or something, and they tried to, silence her or stop the music. But I think she defied them all. She was, I love listening to her music.
That's beautiful. Yes. And music, for me, music is such a holy gift. It comes direct from that holy realm. I mean, it's so obvious to me. Music is it's a divine connection, and that she did that. And for you to tell me this thing about how healing the music was that she brought to the monastery, to the other nuns,
yes.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Yes, they didn't get sick. You need to listen to it. It's I have some of it, but you can get it on YouTube. You can just put in her name and it'll come up. And I have some of her writings. I have a book on, women in spirituality, or maybe women in Christianity, but it's writings and it's mystic, women mystics. And,
Yeah, that's what I think this whole childlikeness thing that I'm writing about wants to get back to, is that mystical way of living in tune with this higher, like you call, higher vibration, because it's all music and a symphony and vibration, and we are really living that. This is what the world is created out of, is out of this musical vibration, and when our heart is open, we can almost hear everything singing to us, and everything bringing its song, and boy, if we could bring in the mystics into what maybe the true meaning of Christian idea maybe in the first place was about. I don't know. I mean, I know that the things that Jesus said were absolutely profound and beautiful, but he was always directing everybody back to their own self. I don't think he was saying anything about that he was something that stood between me and that living truth. I think he was saying we are that living truth and that we have that freedom right now to be it. But that's all that mysticism, you know.
I totally agree with you. You know, Jesus said, according to the Bible, basically, I'm no different than you are. All that's in me is also in you. If you believe it. I mean, the translation says, if you believe in me and the works that I do. And if that, in my opinion, is what he said, he's saying, if you believe that I can really do this stuff, and you believe that you can really do this stuff, then so can you.
Exactly. Exactly. Every time he uses himself as an example, it wasn't that I can only do this. It was I can do this, so can you. And this is, and he does say that. You know, that's the whole point. Is it's the same light that you are. It's the same light that you have. And I don't know. It's like the whole religion.
He also says, I come from the Father.
Right.
Not, I'm the only one. Because he said, I come from the Father. And so do you. You know, I think his message was, I came to show you all who you really are. And it's not that physical body you're in.
Right.
Because that's just a container. All that is in you. And you are a part of all of that is. And I think that was the message.
That's exactly right. That's beautiful. Yes, I think so too. And you know, we're seeing all the old time religions falling apart anyway. It apparently is just going to have to happen. And that's all right, because under the rubble, you know, will be this new light that people will come to find that spirit within themselves. And rather than putting it out in some man of authority out there, or some church of authority, or some book of authority, they'll find that light in themselves. And then we will see a beautiful world, you know?
Christia would like to read some of the writing.
I found my book that I was talking about, and it's an anthology of sacred texts by and about women. And in the mystic section of Christian mystics, Hildegard von Bingen. So she was alive 1098 through 1179. And I just want to read just a little bit about her. She actually became a nun at the age of 14. And she wrote a scripture, and she was incredibly musician. She wrote a book on medicine, and then she began to record her life and visions at the age of 43. So this, I'm going to read her little thing of an analogy of a tree to the soul. It says, the soul in the body is like a sap in a tree, and the soul's powers are like the form of the tree. How? The intellect in the soul is like the greenery of the tree's branches and leaves, the will like its flowers, the mind like its bursting first fruits, the reason like the perfected mature fruit, and the senses like its size and shape. And so a person's body is strengthened and sustained by the soul. Hence, O human, understand what you are in your soul, you who lay aside your good intellect and try to liken yourselves to the brutes.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you for letting me.
Well, you can do what you want because you're a host here, Christia.
Thank you.
That's part of being the host.
Was the other mystic Claire of Assisi? Is that who you referenced earlier?
No, it was St. Catherine of Siena, I believe, was the one that I read a couple of things from that I really liked. But Hildegard too, I remember her. I remember reading some of her things too. Beautiful. Yeah. But I was also, when you were talking about the tree, I love metaphor. I think everything is metaphor. I mean, we are just living in a storybook, really. Everything has a message, it seems to me. And the tree, she wrote it that way, and I've always seen the tree as such a beautiful symbol of, and of course it's fairly basic, and I'm sure everybody realizes this too, but how beautiful the tree, with its roots in the earth, and it's like the earth is giving to the roots, and the roots are giving to the earth, and then the tree goes up into the sky, into the heaven, and then the branches go out to heaven, and then the sky and the sun and the heavenly spirit pours down into the leaves and the branches, and all of this interactive exchanging of earth and sky and spirit and form, and a tree is such a beautiful symbol of the sort of how we live in this world. We're kind of in this earthy world, and yet the spirit, we can't go without the spirit and the light and the presence of God in all things that pours into us. So it's an exchange all the time, this exchange from higher to earth to back and forth, and it's a giving and a receiving, and like an equation. It just keeps moving, between everything, and we just sort of let it take us. We're part of it,
It's a oneness.
Yeah.
It represents the oneness that we are.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Boy, we've touched on some heavy stuff.
We did some deep things, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. I'm feeling a little worn out.
Yeah, we took a long, big journey today. My goodness.
We sure did. And I hope, not just us, but I hope listeners get stuff out of it that will touch their lives. Because we never know what's going to touch someone else's life.
That's true. We never do. Sometimes you can just be saying the simplest thing. You think it's just the simplest, everyday sort of something that you've sort of always known, or you just say it a certain way, and it just strikes a chord in somebody and changes their whole direction. It's really beautiful that can happen, but I think it happens.
Christia with the arenas full of angels who are there for us. For me, individually, I have my own arena of angels. Boy, did that change my life. For the better, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, Christy, I gotta share this with you. I just happened to think of it. And when it did happen, I thought of you right away. Here I am home alone. My oldest daughter who lives with me is up in Michigan, 2-week vacation. My youngest daughter and her family finally got a place to live over on the East Coast where Shannon wants to work for NASA. And so I'm home alone, just the cats and me. So I was sitting in the chair, just kind of resting, zoning out, and I heard this noise in the kitchen, and I thought, I know that noise. That's a very familiar noise. What is that? So I finally got my body out of the chair and went in the kitchen. The dishwasher was started. And I had been thinking about the dirty dishes, but I decided, no, I'm going to wait to run the dishwasher until the next day, today. And I didn't have any soap in it, so of course I wasn't going to run it. It just wasn't the right time to run the dishwasher. Well, here's the dishwasher going. So I turned around and I said, oh my gosh. And I got the message that they're trying to help me. So I said, well, thank you for whoever turned the dishwasher on. And I explained to him how I was going to wait till I had more dishes, yada, yada. But I said, thank you so much for taking care of me like that. And whoever did it, whichever entity that's in my house at that moment in time, touched me, and I felt the touch, and I felt the message, we're trying to take extra special care of you because nobody's here with you but us.
That's sweet.
Oh, that is so sweet.
It made my eyes cry.
Yeah.
Well, you know how I've turned my house into the Angel Flop house?
Well, you're never, ever, ever alone. This is another reassurance that truly you might be the only human, but you're not alone.
Right. It's just so amazing to me. I mean, I know I believed in angels all my life, but you've really made them come home to my thoughts.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Well, I was thinking about if we could get them to do the vacuuming or something.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
But, then we'd look at the vacuum and think there's something wrong with it and have it all taken apart because it starts and runs on its own.
Heck no, I'd sit there and giggle.
Oh, I'll wait till you're done before I check this out.
And then I'd say, well, would you like me to give you the dusting tools?
They're under the sink.
Don't forget the garbage is on Tuesdays and Fridays. I have more fun with the angels and the spirits in my house. I really do. And the girls, oh my gosh. I consider the girls my cats. They are played with daily and nightly. Because the girls tend to be nocturnal, except for Seiji. She likes to stay right beside me, holding on to me. But, and to see my cats jumping in the air, here they are, 13 years old now. And they're jumping in the air and tearing through the house like they're just little kittens. And they stop and they'll look up. And they're looking at somebody and communicating with somebody. It gives me goosebumps even telling you about it. It's so incredible when I take the time to stop and experience. And just be in the moment.
Yeah, life is truly magical, and just to be here, to just exist is extraordinary. And there's times when the profoundness of this beauty of everything, it's just magical. And you just don't even need to be doing anything, but just looking at what an amazing thing it is to just be here. That's very true. I know. And then the little antics of the cats and
oh my gosh, yes.
Oh my gosh, so adorable. Yes. Love. It all comes back to love too. I mean, it's just, love is such a beautiful gift to feel. I love feeling love. It's like, wow, when my days are just spent with feeling that kind of love that just sort of moves everything, and yeah, everything is so beautiful and bright and sparkling, and love is the whole thing really for me.
Yeah. And accepting people for who they are, for what they believe in, for what they understand their life to be made up with.
True, because everybody's on this journey, everybody's on this path, and it does seem that everybody's at a different place along the path, and we don't know what somebody else's lessons are, or why they're where they are, or anything like that. The joy and the beauty is to know that we're all on this wonderful journey of learning and finding ourselves and returning to ourselves and coming back to ourselves, and so it's really easy to just be, the people and the ones in our lives, it's you can just look at them and know that everything in their life is going the way it's supposed to go, and trusting it.
Yeah. You're not walking their path. You're walking your own path. So how can you be so judgmental on what they are going through or thinking or believed to be? They have to learn their own lessons in their own time. And I feel I am here to support their journey. If I come into contact with someone, there's a doggone good reason. I've learned this throughout the years. It's not just happenstance or coincidence. I don't look up when I'm in the grocery store and see someone looking at me who seems to be very sad or off in their own world, kind of lost. It doesn't just happen for no reason at all. I give them a smile and I say hi. Well, that changes that moment in their lives in one way or another. So I feel I was placed there for a reason. Why not say hi?
Yes, and just to be that love wherever we are and whatever we do. It does seem to be a powerful energy that changes things. Mm-hmm. It does, yeah.
It's like when they say, I'm going to swap spit. No, I swap energies. I like swapping energies. I like sending them good energies. Even if they're happy and I know they're running to share it, because you can see, oh my gosh, they're so happy and so excited about something, and I can feel they just want to share it with someone. So I look at them and smile and say, hi, you look to be in a good mood. Oh man, just that little bit of energy exchange makes such a big difference. And not just the two of our energies, but in the energies around us and whoever comes in contact.
Yeah.
It's that ripple effect again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Live our life like little puppies. Wagging our tail. Going down the street, looking at things and curious and open and excited. And yeah, that's what that childlikeness is for me. It's almost like being the wide open spaces of a joyful puppy. Life is interesting. Let's just see what happens. Let's go look at that.
Well, like Jesus says, be childlike.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly been a gift for me, and that's sort of, if I could be here to give anything, that's what it would be, to give to that we do have this beautiful unconditioned self, this childlike beauty in us, and once you let it out and let it free and let it live, it just seems to answer everything. Here's the other thing that for me that happened when I finally discovered this beautiful sense of identity. All the questions that I'd ever asked, I just don't ask questions anymore.
They aren't that important.
It's like I was on a search and I just have no inclination to need to search anymore. I'm just happy to be, just this whole existence is so extraordinary. And yes, it's a mystery. I don't have any answers. It is still a mystery, but now it's like the most beautiful, deep, profound, extraordinary, magical mystery that I'm just happy to be living it. It's like, this is so amazing to exist that I don't need to get anywhere or ask anything because there isn't an answer. But that's the beauty of it. That's the joy of it. That's the life and the light and the passion of it is that there isn't, you can't find the answer because we don't know, but we do know that it does exist, and we are here, and that to me is the simple joy of this childlikeness that just gets to delight in this profound mystery. And knowing that mystery is connected to or because of this divine source that is the whole presence of everything. And even quantum physicists can't figure it out. They don't know where anything comes from, and they keep trying to find it, but it is the profound mystery that everything comes from. And that's what makes it so sacred, is that nobody can ever know it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I went to the doctor recently just for a checkup, and he sat there and he kept looking at me. He said, Dolly, I know you've been happy throughout your life. I know you've had very happy moments, but you're so at peace. He said, I've never seen you at so much at peace. And all I could do was giggle. I said, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
He said, what did you do? What's making you so at peace? I said, you probably wouldn't believe it if I told you. He said, oh, you're right. I'm just going to accept the fact that you're at peace and love it.
That's sweet, yes. And if we can find that deep, abiding peace, that's all there is to it, really. And that's what that child is to me. It's that beautiful peace that just lives that sense of beauty and knowing that peace through everything, through all the commotion, through all the changes, through whatever happens, to be able to stand in and feel and be in that peace as we go along. And I think peace really is, that's what we're seeking. It is that deep, meaningful peace. Because then as everything comes at us in this world, it really doesn't do much, it just kind of blows this way and blows that way, but the center of peace, it just can ride through all of it. It can.
Well, it's like being the eye of the hurricane.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Huh. That's what it is. Yes. And when we find that, I mean, that's really about all there is to really find, is once you find that peace, then everything else, it's going to do this and it's going to do that. But that peace, that's really all that's what we come to.
It reminds me of the song that we always sang as a kid. One of the verses was, how'd it go? I have the peace that passeth understanding down in my heart. Down in my heart. Down in my heart. I have the peace that passeth understanding down in my heart. Down in my heart to stay.
That's sweet. Yeah, there's the child, see?
Right. I remember the verse, I got the joy.
Yeah, I have the joy how's it go? I have the joy, 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 joy down in my heart.
That's the verse I remember.
Yeah, it's got so many verses to that song.
Yeah.
And they're all the positive stuff.
Well, I think the verse that you just sang to us about the peace that passeth.
Understanding.
I think that verse was put in there to test you.
To test me?
To test us all. I mean, that's kind of a difficult one to let roll off the tongue.
Yes.
And still keep the peace.
I always loved that song, all the verses. And another one is, I have the love of Jesus down in my heart. Yeah, I just love every verse in that song. And it's a joyful song. So even though I can't sing, I run around the house singing it, and the angels seem to love it, because when I do, my hair stand up, and I get goosebumps, and I just feel the joy in the house, in the energies.
Well, yes, and that goes back to the whole thing that right there, the child and music to me are so connected. There's something about music that it's so wonderful. I mean, you can put music on and change your whole mood,
Yeah.
Music it lifts us up. It's so extraordinary. And I think it's because I put this in my book too, but it's a long explanation and I couldn't go into it. But it is kind of the fact that music, it's not on the written notes on the sheet of paper. It's not, I mean, if you erased all the notes, if you didn't have a song, music still exists. It's got that invisible isness to it, it's like there is something real, and yet if you took all the instruments away and you took the sheet of paper away and music still exists. So
it's part of your being.
Yes, it's kind of like what God is. It's like, yes, all this is the expression of God, but God is not in the things in that sense, like where is the music? What is it in? It's not in the notes. It is the notes, but it's not in the notes,
Right.
I mean, there's something so beautiful about music because it's an invisible essence or quality or reality. It's absolutely real, but it doesn't exist until we bring it and sing it and put it out there. But we know that it exists because we do this. We can make it. We can have it wherever we are. We can have music. We can sing wherever we are. We can play a note. We can strum a guitar. It's always there. It's always present. I don't know. Something about music just reminds me so much of what God is to me. I just connect the two, or what the universe is made of, Yeah, and little kids love to sing. They love to sing and they love to dance. And yeah, there is a song in our heart. We do carry that song in our heart.
Well, we have reached the end of the show. Time went fast, didn't it?
Oh,
and you did a great job, Christia, doing
Thank you.
co-hosting.
Thank you. I just want to say that the music's always inside of us, and it's a part of us, you know. You're right on, and, you know, we're a frequency, and music just takes us.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Right.
it does. Yeah. And you're the one who taught me that too, Christia. When you were saying, I sing to my angels all the time, and you went, angels, angels, angels. I thought, I got to start doing that. And I did. You have meant a lot to me in my life, Christia.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy, for agreeing to stay. I know 4 hours on your butt is a long time.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was just lovely. Thank you for inviting me. It was wonderful.
And I knew that you and Christia would be a good combination.
Yeah, thanks, Christia. It was really fun. It was sweet having you with me. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, okay, until we talk again, Colleen, do you have anything to add? You can take us out, Colleen.
Okay, I'll take you out. That's a treat. Coming up next is Emily Norcross's show, Up Crossers Creek, following this show. And then we have some replays of earlier shows this week. And
is live?
Emily is live.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Cool.
And she is the last live show of the day.
What a way to end the day.
Exactly.
One of our kids. I'm so proud of Emily.
An indigo child, but who is now grown. So she has a lot of interesting perspectives to talk to us about. And I think we all know indigo children that we may have misunderstood at some point in their life. So it's very, very interesting to hear what she has to say from her point of view. And with that, we will put on your outro, and I thank you all for being here. It was quite an interesting and exciting and learning experience.
The Say What outro, Colleen.
What'd I say?
You said you were going to put my outro on.
Well, you're here.
Well, yeah, but it's Say What show.
Okay, fine. I'll put on the Say What outro.
Okay. Thank you so much, ladies. I've really enjoyed this day. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. Much love to all. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.